Okay. Oh my gosh. R. Kelly, you have been found guilty on all charges. All counts. Guilty.
Will never again be in a position to abuse others.
He will never be in a position to abuse others. R. Kelly guilty on all counts, you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Wow. It's been a long time coming. Huh.
And there we heard information from the prosecutors.
Guilty. He was found guilty.
All counts in the racketeering trial.
Racketeering, trafficking. Oh my gosh.
West Virginia trial. We'll be right back.
I don't even know how many charges that he even had against him, but regardless, racketeering and trafficking, he's history. R. Kelly has been found guilty, and it's a long time coming because we all know that what he did in the Aaliyah situation, we all know that, and that was just a baby. So that was just a baby. So, hey, guilty. Hey, I like the man's music, but when it came out about him being a child molester, a pedophile, we have to draw the line somewhere as to where we support, He did make some awesome music. I have to, say that he did. But it is what it is. But his ass has been found guilty today. So, I guess that's something to, to celebrate. It really is. Nobody wants to see a brother, taken down. But, when you're doing foul and vile things, then, maybe you should be. So, anyway, I'm happy about the verdict. Even though, and it goes much deeper, you guys, even though we know that some of these young ladies' parents did play an instrumental part in that as far as to hooking him up with them. But, that is what it is. He didn't have to take the bait. But it is what it is. So, yes, guilty on all charges. So, hello to who is ever up in the chat. Yep. Breaking news. Guilty. So it's like, I don't even know. Oh my gosh. I need to probably look up what the charges are. And because, by them being in New York, it's really not televising unless I go and hunt for it. And it really wasn't that important. But we got the verdict today. And he has been found guilty on all charges. Racketeering, trafficking, Lord have mercy, kidnapping, probably, child molestation, probably. We don't know though, but I guess, it's all going to come out. But just to break it and let you guys know that the verdict is in. So public information. Oh, how you guys doing? I'm doing good. Just sitting here, just a chilling. So, okay, I'm really waiting for it to come back on so I can kind of let you guys hear it. The verdict, what the jury came up with, guilty. R. Kelly has been found guilty of racketeering, trafficking, child pornography, kidnapping. And it's been a long time coming. That's all I have to say. It's been a long time coming. So, hey, you guys may be R. Kelly fans. I was an R. Kelly fan myself. But the lengths that he went to obtain a relationship, a commitment, a bond with Aaliyah back in the day, falsifying and fraudulently obtaining a birth certificate. Come on. So anyway, let me see. It is back on. So let me tune you guys into the audio part of it.
Joy, let me start with you if I could, because we've been together here at Court TV Studios as we learned guilty on all charges for R. Kelly. What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, Judge Ashley, with this particular trial, I really could not call it either way. Although it was clear throughout the course of the trial, the testimony over the course of 5 weeks, that there was wrongdoing, to me, I thought was going to be a real challenge for the state to actually prove racketeering. And another thing, I spent some time at that trial in New York. It was very hard to gauge how all of this testimony was coming across because due to coronavirus restrictions, media are not allowed in the actual courtroom itself. So very hard to tell how the jury was going to come out on this, but clearly very swayed by all the testimony that we've heard. And some of it has been extremely graphic, of course, particularly some of that surrounding Jane Doe number 1, Aaliyah, and one of the victims, Geronda Pace, for instance, who was a victim of R. Kelly at the age of 16. And then when we heard some of R. Kelly's former employees get on the stand, for instance, Demetrius Smith, who was his tour manager at the time, explained in really colorful detail how he kind of bribed officials just to get a fake ID for Aaliyah, that sort of thing. It was very, very credible.
Absolutely. Imran, I'd like to ask you next, because I know that you practice there in New York, and this is a case in which there was a lot of division. You have R. Kelly supporters saying he didn't do anything wrong, vocal, being at the courthouse, being outspoken about the fact he did nothing wrong. And then on the other side, obviously the victims, the family of the victims saying he did do this wrong. The jury's now convicted him. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the voices outside the courtroom in support of R. Kelly were obviously not enough to resonate inside the courtroom with this jury. The EDNY, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of New York, methodically went through this trial, making their case against R. Kelly, making and proving that those charges, the racketeering charges, beyond a reasonable doubt. We get this verdict from the jury after they started deliberating, I believe, on Friday, and then they can come back today with the guilty verdict on all counts. And it was a real methodical presentation in court by the prosecution, which I would expect nothing less than Liz Geddes and her team in the U.S. Attorney's Office here in the EDNY. And clearly, the salacious allegations were proven in the mind of this jury. And you heard a lot. You heard a lot of accusations against R. Kelly, a lot of evidence coming into court through accusers and also other evidence along with the testimony. And clearly this jury found that evidence was enough to find R. Kelly guilty. And these aren't the end of R. Kelly's legal troubles. Of course, he's going to be sentenced here in the federal case here in the EDNY, and then he has charges pending in other jurisdictions. And I'm sure that those prosecutorial agencies are going to be looking to extract their quote-unquote pound of flesh from R. Kelly in their own cases.
No, Imran, I absolutely agree with you. In the maximum potential sentence for these charges, for these guilty verdicts that the jury has given today, is life in prison. Now, there was a press conference pretty immediately following, and the U.S. Attorney General's office did say to the victims, your voices were heard. Justice was finally served.
Did they say
then
life?
went on to thank the prosecutorial team and said that
Hey, lovely love, how you doing, babe?
by the work, that it was grace under pressure.
Thank you for
and the
stopping
law
by,
of
Shug.
The law will catch up with you. I think that those.
Oh my
words
gosh.
resonate
What are your
with
thoughts
the
on this?
families
Oh
and
my
those who have
gosh.
been
What are your
following
thoughts
trial.
on this?
That's exactly what
This man has now been found guilty. Racketeering, sex trafficking, all of that shit. What are your thoughts, lovely? Oh my gosh, because I'm outdone. I just think that it's long overdue. He should have been locked up, 15 years ago. But he wasn't. But they got his ass today. So I'm happy. You know, like I said, I was a R. Kelly fan. You know, I love his music. But at the end of the day, you know, you're a child molester. You're a pedophile. So, hey. Oh, let me see. We already knew. We were just waiting on them. Yeah. Well, but you know what? Look, he had his supporters out there, lovely, and it could have went either way. It really could have. Hey, Solo, Sheba Square, 5 square point squares, my sister. Hey, babes. Yes, that shit could have went anyway. Anyway, it really could have. But I'm so glad. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that, you know, these kids have been, young women have been vindicated. And now the next thing is that I'm pretty sure that they are going to sue his estate, which you probably don't have too much left now because he's been locked up for like the last couple of years. But oh yes, I'm happy. I'm happy. You know, and I probably will play his song again. Step in the Name of Love. You know, yeah, I probably will. But I'm just glad that that they got him. Yes. Lee Slaughter, the commissioner, hey, was there a plea deal on the table before the trial? I don't think that there was because they never mentioned one. But, you know, this case was out of New York, so it wasn't like they were covering it like that, you know, and it's just like so happened to like when they gave the verdict, I was just like right here on it. So, hey, I'm right here on it, you know, and just like, oh my gosh, guilty on all counts. Sex trafficking, racketeering, with child pornography, Lord knows who knows all the charges. But I'm just glad that they got him. And he's going to be going to jail, which he should have been in jail, 10, 15 years ago. He really should have been. And, you know, I just look at like the coverage that they were showing of his supporters outside because this was in New York. This trial was in New York. So they were saying that it was federal. So by it being federal, that there was no televised anything, no news, no nothing like that. The only thing you can do is come in there. If you can draw paint, you can do that. But it was no coverage like that. So I'm just happy that I just looked up on it and got this shit. Yeah. I was waiting for the verdict, but they needed to arrest all involved. You know, his what was it, like his manager, his PR person, is like that person was really instrumental in trying to like get him off. And I think because she didn't want to be implicated in this situation, but and who knows, down the road somewhere they might even link her ass up to it since he was found guilty, since she was the one that knew everything about his ins and outs of all of this. Okay. One of the partners took $30,000 to deny was his daughter in the video. Shame on the dad. Who's dad, Solo? I'm not sure who dad you're talking about. But I mean, it was enough enough minors. I mean, which minor? Because there were several of them. So, and he said, always make sure, always, check their ID and make sure. No, anybody can get a false ID. Okay. Because I knew, I'm just asking because I knew, it's hard to beat the feds. And you see, yeah, it's hard. And he didn't. They got his ass, so that's good. And Solo says, facts. I'm just so happy that they got him, And they should have had him like 15 years ago, and probably even longer than that. But they should have had him. To quote Chappelle's show, I want to, Anya, yeah. The girl, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm sure that they're going to go after his estate, and they're going to get some money and all of that. But I'm just so happy that they found his ass guilty because, like on Friday, I was watching Friday, and it wasn't looking good on Friday because, when they were speaking about it and the different attorneys that they have coming in and kind of like giving their little advice and stuff, it was like, well, the defense is looking pretty good. It's like, but see, we're not there, we're not there and able to hear what's going on. So, and it's like, only thing that we can do is just take the testimony of them that are with these, like with the news crew and teams and stuff to, go off of what they're telling us. And so it's like, oh, damn. So I was really kind of worried, but I'm feeling great right now. I'm feeling great. I'm sorry, R. Kelly, but it's time for you to go. Pay your bills, baby. Okay. The girl, okay. Yeah, she is an accomplice. Yes. His manager, the one that says, I knew everything. I was there. Yes. B. Slaughter. Yeah. So next they should be going after her because so damn much. So much. You had a whole lot to testify to. And like I said, none of this was on court TV in the courts or anything like this. We're getting this from the lawyers and the pre-am lawyers that were in the court and giving their account of what happened in court. So, breaking news: R. Kelly guilty on all charges, all counts. Now, the question is how many counts are there? And let me see if we can get an update on just how many charges there are.
The beginning of the legal trials for R. Kelly in this time period. We know in 2008 he had a child pornography trial that he was acquitted of. This is his first time.
Okay, well, it says that the minimum is 20 years. So I guess that's the minimum right there, 20 years. Bond has been denied.
But when we come back, you haven't missed a thing. We will take you live back to West Virginia versus Andrew McCauley Jr. here in court.
Okay, you guys, you getting it firsthand right here. And I don't know. Hey, Uno, how you doing, Uno? Hey, Coach Chappelle show. I want to pee on you. Oh, that was you, Uno. I didn't even see you. Hi, baby cakes. How you doing? Oh my goodness. Breaking news. Shit. I'm happy. Those kids are going to be vindicated by the crimes that he committed. Now, I just hope that they all lawyer up and go and file some suits where their asses can get paid. Not their parents, but them. Because I'm pretty sure that the parents, coerced and pushed and and did all that stuff into making it all happen, to come about. So, yeah. But anyway, you guys, thank you for stopping by. Okay, let me see. Jeff Fly Leaks, Stepper. Hey, you got a StreamYard link? Yeah, I have a StreamYard link, but I don't know. I don't know. Let me see this right here. I know, Uno, it has been a long time. Jeff Fly Leaks, Stepper, who are you? Who are you, baby? Tell me who you are. Do you have another name? But anyway, you guys, I'm cruising because, like I said, you did the crime, so let's do the time. So, your little shit couldn't last forever. I'm a man that wants to enlighten people. What do you want to enlighten people about this type of case? Let's see what. Oh, you have a legal case. Okay. All right, well, hit the link. Let me hear what you're talking about.
Yo, hey Diamond, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. From what I've seen on many other platforms, on social media, Twitter per se, they're saying like, oh, with this being a racketeering, how come only R. Kelly has been indicted, and why haven't they got the enablers? For me, I'm gonna tell y'all, I've seen a lot of racketeering cases, and they all end up the same way. To be honest, I don't know if you listen to rap, but 6ix9ine Tekashi, that rapper
Mhm.
with the rainbow hair, he
Yeah.
was involved in a racketeering case, but not on a similar as like women or anything. His was more like gang related. With R. Kelly's per se, this had to do with minors and sex trafficking. That racketeering is at a higher level. They care less on who enabled it or who transferred the women. Their main job is to prove that this man was for fact using his his worth, his money, using his power to obtain these younger women and use sexual acts to them. Not saying it's right for anybody to bring it to him, but their whole objective was to figure out, was Rob himself carrying this act out, or was he using entourage like an enterprise? And with the Homeland Security, night and day, you got guys that were on this case 5 years prior to this event. They've been watching him, so it's not like, oh yeah, these girls are lying. Let's say one girl was lying, they wouldn't been able to come up with a guilty verdict if they felt that it wasn't going to be a tough win. And like I said, with racketeering, if it's a group of people helping this woman, you know what I'm saying, do this. Now they understand the motive was the money, the cash. And they're using Rob as an example as, okay, there's a lot of celebrities with this money that Rob has. And if you have an enterprise, a group of people that will enable and encourage you to fulfill those sexual fantasies with young women, it's going to come to light. That's why they did that press conference at the end. Because he's not the first, he's not going to be the last person.
Well, don't you think that entourage, them people that helped bring all this to come to light, you know, that was, you know, on the payroll, you know, because didn't, you know, so this didn't just come about. Come on now. So I'm kind of mixed with.
So you're saying you feel that if they are also included in this act to bring them in, but the ones that are not, I feel like the ones that are not cooperating with the courts, because most of the parents were cooperating. They weren't denying anything, and they were being full for and telling what they were doing and what role they played. And all of that will clear your name due to the fact that a racketeering case, it's like as if a cartel was doing it. We know people was helping El Chapo, but they don't give a damn about the people that were helping El Chapo as if El Chapo was the main guy. That's the man, that's the source. As long as they can get to the main source, to the person who motivated these people to take these little pay cuts to do this and do that, do A to Z, for him, that they're just worried about the end of the trail. And because if they prosecute all the people that assisted kills, they're gonna have to figure out, oh, now you're going to have people hesitant to do it and be scared to do it for another celebrity. And that's why I know for a fact they kind of assisted Rob, but at the same time, they did no criminal activity to point where they feel, oh, let's lock them up. The charges won't stick. And with COVID going around, that's, you know how many court cases that would be? The government's not going to take that much time out to say, well, did you do that with Rob was the head. So if Nelly did something, they're going to grab the people, like the witnesses, the people that assisted him, then they're going to tell, what do you know? That's exactly what they did with Rob. His managers, they say, what do you know? His bus drivers, what do you know? The people that was on stage with him doing the mic sound check, studio time, what do you know?
Right.
But we didn't hear none of their names inside the trial. Through the transcripts, you didn't hear none of the managers. Some came up. That was just to clarify the text, but they didn't say, "Oh, we're going to." Go ahead.
Okay. Well, where are you? Are you in New York?
No, I'm in Texas at the moment.
You're in Texas because I've really been trying to follow this also, and you seem to have a little bit more knowledge of what was in the transcripts than what we have here, and so it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I got insiders. I got some insiders. I know some people that talk, and it's all about who you know nowadays. And if you can get some information from people like legal advisors, like people that really like work in courts and lawyers, all this information can be displayed on one page. But honestly, you're not going to be able to get it if your source is CNN or Court TV. Some of the stuff behind the scenes that I know about is from people that were speculating on should they, post it online, because this was a federal case. Certain people didn't want to involve themselves with due to the fact that this was a federal case. It had to do with sex trafficking. Media is going to put out just clips like people saying, "Oh, where's the videos?
I got
we want to see the videos." You're not going to see the videos. They're not showing child pornography on TV. I don't care what channel you're watching. They're not showing that on Facebook. That goes against their guidelines. So that was their people. That was the defense for people saying, well, we don't see the video, so how can y'all accuse them of this? They can accuse them with it. They'll show the jury the video. They'll show press. They're not even showing media the videos no more due to the fact, look how many media press members are becoming YouTubers now.
And you're right.
Like, I'm not even trying to clout chase or say nobody's name, but look at like Hollywood. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Hello, Rodney.
She has a media badge and she's a blogger. So it's like you can't allow someone as that close to the court and that close to the jury, then wonder why everything's getting leaked. Because you got YouTubers, bloggers, slash press, and all this coming soon. Now they're being careful on who they're letting in certain court cases. Now this is becoming a new thing.
Wow, but it's like I don't know. I just kind of feel like we're really being shortchanged due to the COVID situation. And if you could have anything that you'd like to share with me, because I can share with you, brother, just like email me that shit, because
okay, yeah, bet most definitely I can email you, but it's just crazy the day we're living in, where people are still surprised what he was doing was not criminal. I had females telling me, "Well, what's wrong with rough sex? No, that's not the crime. You know that's not the crime. You're being ridiculous. You're not. You're looking. It's like reading the Bible, then fetching for certain things that's gonna make you feel okay. Read it for what it is, the whole entirely. They'll read partial of the transcript and say, "Oh well, that ain't nothing wrong. I do that with my man all the time." Okay, you do that with your man, but when it's a man going state to state, state to state, having guys reaching out to women off stage, my thing is, how could a woman follow me right here? How could a woman that's unemployed, no occupation, no trades, no skills, no residence of their own, be able to just contact Rob so easily? They were just calling him on his cell phone. They were saying, "Oh, these calls are from this, from this, from that." How come these girls with no skills, with nothing to bring to the table, would just easily access to Rob's number? That lets you know people other than him was giving his number out.
Exactly. And I would look at that, his prime witness. I would look at his prime witness, the one that says that, I was there all the time, so I knew what was going on. And well, I did hear that part of like her transcript is what she had to say, that's the person. So I feel like somewhere down the road, yes, they're going to indict her ass too. And should be, because now that he's been convicted on all charges.
They haven't been the sentence. He's been convicted guilty. Then they said.
So hold on, Jeff Fly. So would you happen to know how many charges that he's been convicted of? Because that's
5 counts.
What's that?
5 counts.
5 counts. Five counts.
Two of the five hold up to a maximum of 10 years. That's 2 of them. But the other 3, hold on, I gotta look back at it. But I know it's a total possibly over 30 plus years.
Yeah, because I was looking at 20 something years. So but I wasn't really sure.
You understand? He's also got charges in Detroit. This is just for Chicago.
So it sounds like, you're kind of like on the fence of being an R. Kelly fan and not to being
far from that. Like I never supported him on that level due to the fact that I feel like if your fan base can encourage you, try to paint a narrative of girls being liars, like, come on, who wants to, like, I understand it's money involved, but who really wants to sit there and go through this for the rest of their lives to just lie on one man? That's what I'm saying. Them girls, they got lives too.
Exactly. If it's a lie. Yeah. Well, I thank you for, coming up and, sharing your story and, sharing, just coming up. Jeff Fly Leaks Stepper. Thank you. That was awesome. I appreciate that. Okay. Rodney Lucas. What is that? You got it. Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate that because it's like, look, we have R. Kelly fans, we have R. Kelly haters, we have parents up in here that absolutely do not condone his behavior, but at the end of the day, yes, got it. Absolutely do not condone that behavior. And I'm just glad that the jury, saw it fit to convict. I see it fit to convict. Yes. So, everybody's not lying. Everybody don't want to see R. Kelly doing bad, especially his supporters. And just because you're a supporter don't mean that that he's not a man, that he's going to do wrong, that he's going to violate, he's going to commit all of these crimes that just a big old playground out here for him to commit. And because his name is a title, he's an icon, that he's not guilty of these things. Now, come on, you guys, let's be real. You have children now, unless you're willing to, okay, Jeff Fly. I'll add to the stream.
Okay, yeah, I apologize for that. I had a phone call.
Baby. Okay. So Solo Sheba 5 Square is saying he's reckless and it's time to pay. Yes, it is time to pay. But what I was saying that we as a people don't want to see our other people put themselves in a position to self-destruct themselves. But when you make a name for yourself and you become this icon, you have people looking up to you. That's the more reason why you should want to do great things and pick up your brothers and sisters that has the talent and try to take them along with you, other than to break them down and to put yourself in this type of position. Yeah, I agree with you. That's the sad part about it. So, if it was the end, if it's the end of his term, his time is up, then so be it, because you weren't really helping your brother, your
community. Sister. You're not helping the sisters, the women. It's like he was basically like lurking on the weak and the ones, like how they said, couldn't defend themselves, the ones who had no voice. And that right there is manipulative. I wouldn't support any man, regardless, black, white, Mexican, Chinese. That is wrong. You don't abuse people like that. And I tell people this: if you listen to a monster or listen to a predator, they kind of tell on themselves. But when they tell on themselves, they try to bring a little justification in it to make you feel sorry for them. Like, I don't know if you remember, it was an interview that he did a while back. It's on YouTube still. He says, when I was an underage young boy, I was sexually touched by a relative over and over and over. And he said he spoke about it and told his brother, but then his brother told him, no, it didn't happen. Then he claimed, since that happened to me, only thing I'm going to do is make my fans experience that. How can you make your fans experience abuse unless you're going to abuse them personally? That's what I got from when he said, I'm going to make my fans experience it.
Okay, hold on, Jeff Fly. But it wasn't another male that had sexually assaulted him. It was his sister, if you remember.
Okay, his sister.
That was his sister.
So let that be said. It was his sister. And what's the majority of the sex of the person he was sexually abusing, allegedly, from what they're saying? Women. He had Jane Doe and he had one John Doe. And that is typical for a man who has a sex addiction. That's why I say people didn't diagnose Kells for his people around him, his neighbors, his family members, anybody in his entourage should have seen this man has some type of issues. He's sexually motivated to get extra, not saying it's wrong to have sex, but it's like for the fact that every state you go into, you're engaging with these women that
Yes.
have less.
Yes.
They're not grown, full blown women. These are girls that still don't know life like the way a woman would know. So it's easy for you to say, now you're gonna obey to me. Now you're gonna lay here. Now I'm gonna do this to you. Now you call me daddy. That right there is a man who's been traumatized, abused. It's like they say, a victim becomes a villain. He probably didn't mean to do this, but at the same time, for him not getting therapy and getting that whatever happened to him when he was young, when his aunt or older sister touched on him, he never healed from that. So,
Okay, and let's not forget about the parents, that their role that they played in it to make, to put their daughter.
to be honest, you're right. Let's not forget. I'm gonna forget it due to the fact that I'm gonna speak on what the court does.
At the end of the
The
day,
court's not gonna bring them up though. They're not gonna see a day of justice.
and they're not going to bring them up. The courts
not
are
gonna
not
bring them
going to
up.
bring them up because they are minors at the time. They are minors at the time. So the courts are not going to bring them up. That's probably why that we don't see any visuals, but we, prior to him doing those little interviews and all these girls coming forward like the last year and a half, 2 years. So we kind of know who the victims are already.
But they assisted the crime. I ain't gonna lie. Some of the parents did assist the crime, but for me, I feel like you're not gonna get, you know what I'm saying, somebody to assist the crime unless it's a bank robbery. If you drive somebody rob the bank, then they rob that bank and you're guess you're a passenger, you're going down too. But this is not a bank robbery we're talking about. This is sexual activities continued by one man. Did he have help? Yes. But it's the fact that he was the man penetrating. And that's what they want to get off the streets. It's just like if we selling drugs. If we all selling drugs and I go say, hey, you know what? We all got caught, but I wasn't the one who's growing the drugs. I'll show y'all who's growing it. The DA is gonna come do a big old bust on that person, and they're gonna let me go scot-free. That's just how the industry works. That's the way crime, the court system, they're looking at it like the parents, they're not even a factor right now. We got them monster off the streets. They're gonna brag about this for a long time. They couldn't get Weinstein. They got R. Kelly though, and they're gonna brag about this.
Well, you know what? When you look like me and you look like Weinstein, hey, who you think they're gonna implicate? Who do you think they're gonna send to jail?
And we know that it's crazy. Since you know that, he should have known that too. But then again, that's why I say he wasn't thinking in his right mind. He wasn't thinking in his right mind because he was sick. That man was sick. And
he wasn't thinking in his right mind, because if he was thinking in his right mind, let me tell you something. He has children too. At the end of the day, this man has kids.
Yep. And they didn't mean nothing to him. You know why? Because that money. Once you got money, that like the way Tails had it.
Hold on. Would you want any man mistreating your daughter? Even though you know that he has buku bank, but you know who he is. But would you still find it okay for him to be with your daughter? I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't find it. I wouldn't find it okay. But that shows you something. What does that show you though? That shows you a parent. That shows you a parent would sacrifice their own daughter for the price dollar. And you understand what goes
Let's not say
around?
just daughter. Let's not just limit it to our daughters. Let's say our children.
Okay.
Our children, their children. Yeah.
There's a saying that says what goes around comes back around like a hula hoop, right? You hear me? So let's say you sent your daughter to him, right? You send them. Then when he get caught, it comes right back around. You send her for the money, he gets caught. Now comes that money that you sent her for, she coming right back home, and now they gonna file a lawsuit. all being traumatized. The money, it was. I'm not gonna just say it was just for the money, but for the parents, they did do it for the money. And guess what? They're gonna be rewarded because their daughter come back home or wherever she want to go, and they get to say, yes, we were victimized. They can make movies, they can make documentaries, they can write books, but it was all motivated to get this cream of green dollar. It's not right. Is it wrong? Hell yeah, it's wrong. Would I do that? Hell no. But for the fact that this man was foolish enough to play in that game, I can't show him no sympathy. This man was a monster with a lot of money. And that's what you give a lot of money to anybody who's mentally ill. Crazy shit like this will happen. This nigga was mentally ill. He was sick. He needed help. But instead of seeing that he needed help, y'all brought his fantasies of young women to him and made it
instead of his
accessible.
people. His reps that was behind him. His reps that was behind him didn't stop to think. But it's like at the end of the day, everybody want a paycheck. Everybody want to get paid. Everybody want to be.
That's what it all is for. That's any industry. That's the industry. Musicians. You got artists. You got like Bobby Shmurda. He got locked up. When he got locked up, his record label didn't stick behind him. They didn't have no free Bobby shirts. They went on to the next rapper. They don't. That's what the industry was. R. Kelly. Sony's not standing by saying we support him in this. No, they were just supporting him due to the fact they need the money. And I think Sony knew that he was fucking around with them. But did Sony get involved? No, because they didn't feel that it was going to ever hit this hard. A lot of people didn't see it hitting like this.
Ooh,
so Sony wouldn't.
But it did.
But it did. Yes, it did. It did. And people like me, I'm not sad because what happens to the dark comes to the light. If all these people so-called support R. Kelly, so religious, they should read their own Bible and see what the hell he was doing and accept it. And it's like once you accept that he was wrong, you can become right. But until you accept that he was doing some wrong activities, you just as bad as him.
Yeah.
You're a monster in disguise because you're calling these girls hoes, calling them bitches, calling out their names and saying they should have just stood up and kept their legs closed. That's not right.
What? At the end of the day, a groupie is a groupie, but that does not mean that you have to take advantage of a young woman that just might be, that's just starstruck and just love you, because you're fucking R. Kelly.
Yeah, they ain't know no better.
Exactly. So, at the end of the day, I am fucking happy that
straight up
has been convicted.
You know what? This is right. I would be mad. I would be pissed off if it didn't go down this way. Because I feel like it's just like OJ. They let him go. They let him slip away. But with him coming down to kids, now this is some shit you can't let slip away. Like I'm not saying that murder of OJ, whatever he was doing, but this right here goes down 10 years plus. This goes for you're traumatizing these girls. These little girls will forever have to live with this shit. And you don't have no remorse because he's smiling in court and shit. That's when I heard him smiling in court, dancing his head around and stuff. That's when I say, yeah, this man's sick. For a nigga to move his head in emotion as in, oh, it is all okay. I did what I did. He can show no remorse for them girls, and that's sick. He would did it again if y'all freed him.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. He would do this again. So let's just stop his ass in his tracks right now, and and put a lock on all of it. So this just opened up. Like I said, this just opens up the doors for all those civil suits. That's going to come running through.
Yeah.
So,
hey, did you see when his lawyer, R. Kelly lawyer, was saying, "Oh yeah, I believe survivor R. Kelly had something to do with this."
No, I didn't see that. I haven't seen it yet. I'll say that. Okay, well, we just lost our caller, but wow. Like I said, I'm just happy that all of this turned out the way that it did. And this time he has been found guilty on all charges. And what they're looking at, like what they said, 5 charges, but I don't know if it's more or less, but I will find that out. But at the end of the day, yes, R. Kelly guilty on all charges, racketeering and trafficking. So we have on here that Miss Solo says, don't care who it is or how much money. No, I don't think they give a care who it is or how much money he is like, but at the end of the day, he's going to be paying. So they sacrifice their children for money every day. Yeah, they do. And it's just really kind of sad because at the end of the day, these kids, children, I had 4 kids, and they don't really ask for much. They don't look for much, but they do look for you to be there for them and to feed them and to feed them and to take care of them and keep a roof over their heads. And, that's the minimum. Now, when you start doing extra shit like, okay, you're on the volleyball team, you're on the track team, you're on the basketball team, you're a cheerleader, that's a whole lot of extra stuff. But, we have to love on our kids. We have to keep an open relationship with our kids. Our kids need to know that they can trust us. But when we're doing all this other kind of extra stuff, in front of their faces and entertaining all of this extra company, they may not be so quick to want to open up to you. But, like I said, I have 3 sons and a daughter, and they don't tell me everything. They don't tell me everything because they know that I'll get upset, excited, and and may say some things to them that they might not want to hear. So they may not always tell me, but somewhere down the road or through a chain, I'm made aware of whatever the situation is. And when I do address, I always try to, the conversation not being directed, but just make it like kind of in general, that's what I do, how I do with my kids. And like I said, I have 3 sons and a daughter. So, and they're all grown. But at the end of the day, you guys, it's like, these young women have been vindicated today by the courts reaching a guilty verdict on all charges. I'm not sure just how many counts there are or were, but they'll be able to open up what is it? I think it's a civil, and be able to sue him monetarily. So wow. R. Kelly found guilty on all charges, and like I said, it's about time. It is about time. He should have been convicted a long time ago, but they got his ass now. So I want to thank everyone for, dropping in on my breaking the news, y'all. And thank you for your comments and just stopping in and just giving me a click and a view. I appreciate that, but like I said, hey, I'm just here. It's a beautiful day here in Canada. And what else? But anyway, that's it. I want to thank what was it? Jeff Fly Leaks Stepper, for coming in and giving me his input and just sharing what he had to share and what he knew about this case. And like I said, Jay Stepper, you can always email me if you have something, news breaking, and you can do it on your channel, but I'm definitely going to subscribe to you. And alrighty, so you guys have a wonderful, amazing day. And this is Diamond Girl on the R. Kelly guilty of all charges. Hey. You guys have a great day. Peace.